My name's Andy Crook, and I'm your host for tonight's training topic, the 3 business personalities. Every week, I try to help garage owners become more successful in business by hosting a training topic on one of the 5 pillars of business as I see it. This week, the training topic is your 3 business personalities. A particularly favourite subject of mine. I like this one because it's easy to visualize the concept. It's taken from the book The E-Myth by Michael E. Gerber. It's not my sort of idea, but it is one that I particularly like. So the idea is that every business owner takes on 3 distinct personalities when they think about or work within their business. And the 3 personalities are the technician, the manager, and the entrepreneur. That's the idea behind this sort of theory, if you like. And how I like to think about the 3 personalities and how I sort of make sense of them we'll sort of repeat as we go along through the training topic. But the technician is the tactical level, the manager is the operational level, and the entrepreneur is the strategic level. Now, if you listen to a podcast called We Have Ways, you'll understand why I particularly like those 3 explanations for what's going on within the business. It's a gentleman called James Holland who's particularly fond of the different levels that the armies operate under, or during war. You have a tactical, operational, and a strategic level. And I like that because that's another way of thinking or envisaging how you operate within your business. And another way of looking at it is production, management, and leadership. And that's, if you like, the usual business terms for the tactical, the operational, and the strategic level. They all of these things mean the same. But there's another way of looking at it, which of the 3 I's, which for the life of me I couldn't remember which book I found this in, and that's income, impact, and investing. Is your activity income related, impact related, or investing related? And we'll see how these all fit together as we go through the training topic. So the 3 levels, or the 3 business personalities, however you want to look at it, they are all necessary for a business to be successful. And the thing I think as a business owner we need to do is we need to understand how much time we spend in each of these personalities, in each of these roles within our business. Because the temptation in our trade, in our sort of area of business, is to be the technician all of the time, or too much of the time. The garage owner that is a garage owner because he was a good technician and thought, you know what, I could do this myself, which is quite common, has that sort of longing to fix things, and is comfortable being the technician, has had probably plenty of training and plenty of experience in the production role within the business, if you like. Whereas we're probably not as familiar with being a manager or an entrepreneur. We must be entrepreneurial to have decided to run the business. The stats on how many people run businesses are quite startling if you've never looked into it. But it's sort of single figure percentages of the UK workforce are self-employed. So I know for Wales it's around about 7% of all of the workforce is self-employed. So it's quite a low percentage. So we have to be one of those sort of few people that have that entrepreneurial spirit to get out there and give it a go. And it takes some balls. It takes a bit of kahuna to go out there and do that. So whilst we have some entrepreneurial spirit, we have some organizational and managerial skills, otherwise we wouldn't be able to do it. Predominantly, we're comfortable being technicians at the technical or tactical level. And the way I like to think about this is that the technician works in the present, in the here and now, yeah, on the day-to-day activities of the business. And they're focused on doing the work of the business, whether that's making it, selling it, delivering it, whatever it is the business needs to do at that point. That is the technician's role, the tactical level, doing the production of the company. And the technician, by his very nature, or her very nature, is reactive. They are reacting to external stimulus. Whatever that stimulus is, they're reactive. That you can't be in the, if you like, in the trenches fighting and planning where you're going to be fighting. You can't be strategic and tactical at the same time. It's almost impossible. So that means that if you spend too much time being the technician within your business, you spend too much time being reactive in your business. So what about the next level, the operational level, being the manager? Well, the manager tends to work in the past. And the manager, when you're using or in this role, or you adopt this personality, you're focusing on achieving results through the people within your business and the systems within your business. And the manager often focuses on closing the gap between the business is today and where it needs to be. And how they do that is the manager is often the one who sets the business objectives. And there are training topics about goal setting and objectives, etc., etc. So I have a clear difference between sort of longer term goals, so the 1 year plan, the 3 year goals, and your 10-year vision, and your 90-day objectives, which are short little sprints of getting stuff done to achieve the bigger goals. So the manager is the personality or the role you adopt when you set those 90-day objectives. The manager then is looking at what objectives need to be achieved to achieve the bigger aims. And the great idea about being in management is you're working in the past. So you're often looking at data, what's happened, and then you're feeding that back to the leadership team, if you like, the entrepreneurial people who are going to make the strategic decisions. So the manager it's a nice place to be. And there is lots of books and talk about the difference between management and leadership. And I think business training on the whole is excellent at training managers and not great at training leaders or entrepreneurs, because it's difficult. I don't think there's a if you like, a rule book for being an entrepreneur. You've got to be different. You've got to think differently, and therefore that's what makes it so difficult to train. However, you can train and teach someone to become a better manager. They just know what they need to look at. They know what outcomes they need to achieve based on, hundreds of years of experience of running businesses. It's relatively easy to do. So the third role, the strategic level, becoming the entrepreneur, is working in the future. And when you adopt this role or personality, this is the personality that defines the business and focuses on where the business needs to get to. Yeah? By setting your 1 year plan, your 3 year goals, and your 10-year vision, you are operating strategically. You're planning for the future. This is where you need to want to get to. And in this role, you are truly being proactive. You are often the stimuli that gets the technician to do what he wants via the manager. So you can see that being entrepreneurial requires leadership. You need to lead the team, and it's a very, very great responsibility, I suppose, for leading a business in a direction where you have staff whose families rely on you providing the wages and you making these decisions could affect the livelihoods of a number of people. So it's a privilege, it's a responsibility as well, and I think we ought to think about how we do this within our automotive businesses. So I'm going to give you an example of how we operate in the different business personalities at the different levels, doing the different tasks as I see them. So, and we're going to think about marketing, just a general marketing idea. So when it comes to doing your marketing, which one of the three personalities do you adopt? So let's start at the top, if you like, with the entrepreneurial, where we're going to be at the strategic level. We're providing leadership to the team. So in marketing, this is who makes the strategic decisions about the business branding and positioning in the market, such as identifying new market opportunities, such as sponsoring community events to increase local awareness. So that's the job of the entrepreneurial version of the business owner, to make the decisions about the business branding and positioning in the market. And then you're going to identify new marketing opportunities, such as an opportunity has come up to sponsor a community event, and that's going to increase local awareness. So that's the, if you like, that's the strategic level. So the manager, the operational level, what the manager does in relation to marketing is they're tracking the success of marketing campaigns, measuring the business's online presence, and ensuring the customer inquiries are responded to promptly. So in this case, it's looking at, are we receiving inquiries or bookings from our community event? You know, if you've put the marketing, the manager may say to the strategic or the entrepreneurial version of yourself, or the business owner, and say, we need to somehow track jobs that have come directly from our community events. How do we do that? Do we offer some form of incentive with a code? We track that code. That is the manager's job. And the manager comes up with the idea of tracking the marketing campaigns, measuring the business marketing performance, and ensuring that any inquiries are responded to. So you can see where the manager fits in. So when it comes to the technician, the tactical level, what the tactical level is actually creating content for your marketing. So if that's social media regarding to the community event, and responding to those inquiries, whatever it is to do with the marketing part, whatever needs doing in the business, that is the technician's job. So if you're doing that work in the business, so you do the actual physical marketing, that's being the technician. So if you think about it from the income, impact and investing point of view, income comes from the actual marketing activity, the advert, creating interest, creating a conversation which returns into a sale. That brings in income. That is the work of the technician. The impact, is this working? Are we getting a return on our investment? Have we spent the money wisely? Is the job of the manager. And investing is the job of the entrepreneur, who's deciding where to put the money. So you can see how the impact, investing and income idea relating to the three business personalities fits perfectly with a lot of the activities we do in the business. So when I looked into to this, what I discovered was it's really common for business owners to bounce between each of these three roles. However, the struggle to grow your business often comes from spending too much time working in the business and not on the business. And what do I mean by working in and not on? Well, when you're working in the business, you're being the technician. You're working at the tactical level, the production part of the business, if you like, on the income. And we're focused on that because it's where we, as I said at the beginning, naturally like to hang out. However, what we ought to be working on is on the business, which is the management, or the manager and the entrepreneurial levels. And what I decided was, if you have a business that's, shall we say, in infancy, and if you don't know what I mean by infancy, have a look at the three levels of business. Basically, a business in infancy, if the business owner isn't there, that business stops. And a business in adolescence, if the business owner isn't there, that business slowly grinds to a halt. And a business in maturity, which are the three levels, will carry on working without the business owner there. So a business in infancy, so a business that's still dependent on the owner for a lot of the day-to-day activities. You're still doing a lot of the tactical level within that business. What would be, if you like, the ideal mix for a business like that? Well, I decided that over a typical 20-day month, 70% of the time, 14 days, should be spent as the technician. 20% of your time, which is 4 days in that month, should be spent as the manager, and 10% of your time, 2 days, should be spent as the entrepreneur. Now, if you are highly involved still in your business, the chances of you spending that kind of ideal mix across your three personalities in your business is very, very unlikely. If you're a business in adolescence, it's probably going to be somewhere a little bit more like maybe even a blend of 33, 33, 33, where you kind of evenly spread between all the areas. And if you're a business that's in maturity, you're probably spending very little time as a technician on the tactical level. You're probably spending a lot more of your time on the operational and the entrepreneurial. And it could be as much as 70% of your time is entrepreneurial and 30% of your time is managerial. So you can see that as the business goes through time and as you progress through your business journey, the amount of time you're wearing these different hats will change. And what I'm saying is, if you're a business in infancy, which most of us are, we should be spending, and just think about these numbers, we should be spending every month, we should be spending 2 days on strategic level thinking, 4 days on the operational level, and 14 days working in the business. And that's what I came up with as the ideal mix. So 1 day a week, 4 days in the month, we ought to be spending doing management. And we probably are not far off that, but I'll be spending those 2 days strategic. So what are the atomic action points for this particular training topic? Well, it's find out which of the three business personalities dominates most of your time. And to find out that, because you can't change something and you can't make progress with anything unless you know where you are now. So what I'd urge you to do is measure the time you spend on your income, impact, and investing activities. So look at a typical week or month and just measure, just log what you're doing at any one particular time during the day. Are you spending the ideal mix of 70% as a technician, 20% as the manager, and 10% as the entrepreneur? Now, it probably won't look like that, and that's probably not the ideal mix for most businesses to begin with, because you can't suddenly stop doing everything you're doing and start managing, because you're going to have to sort of take your time and transfer or transition into taking your, if you like, your spanners out your hands and putting calculators in your hands. And then the ideal way to spend the 2 days entrepreneurial in the month is not even being at the premises. No distractions. Go away and have some clear space to think. That's where the great ideas will come from. If I've made you think about how your business operates within your three business personalities, then I've done my job. If you've got any questions, get in touch. You can either DM me or send me an email. If you go to atomicsuccess.co.uk, you can see a number of these topics all on there. You can access, you can click and you can book a call with me if you needed to. If I've made you think about this in any way whatsoever, that there are many, many ways of getting in touch if you need to. Thanks for listening. Have a great night. Bye-bye.